Alright guys, I'll make a quick video today. Giving you a tour of my sump. Now it is a complete mess. I'm kind of tearing it down, rebuilding it, tearing it down, rebuilding it. I'll do replace a few things here and there. Trying to get exactly how I want it. Here's my acclimation bucket that I acclimate fish and corals in. I have smaller buckets in case, I didn't get that much water to use to help acclimate or whatever. Now, here's my first chamber. It's got a protein skimmer in it, and I think this is where a lot of my problems with hair algae is coming from. As you can see here, it's going right past where the filter socks are. And I'm betting you a lot of detritus is coming down here, and it's getting stuck down in there. Or it's going over to this chamber as well, and as I said, I think it's getting stuck in there, and it's rotting, and it's causing me to have higher nitrates and phosphates. Now I'm running a Skims protein skimmer. I think it's a 252 Skims Monster 252. They have an external version of it. I don't think they sell the internal version of it anymore. Second chamber, which is where the refugium is supposed to be, I have a Chaeto reactor. Don't know why, I kind of prefer the idea of having a Chaeto reactor instead. And here's the third and final chamber, which has a return pump, and here in the baffle, let's jug some. That didn't make it any better, but hang on. You can see I have reindeer balls, and I can see it in there. It's Pure Blue pouches. It works as my carbon and my GFO. And once again, some more media. And my Jabao DCT 8000. And you can see my 5-gallon bucket, which works as my reservoir. I'm using a Com's Aqualifter pump. Now, some of you guys might think that's a little undersized, but it's sitting right on top of the reservoir, and I'll pump the water straight into the pump chamber. So it has very little. It has no head pressure whatsoever. It's got nothing to fight against. It's a good setup for a really small pump like that. Now I'm moving some stuff around. Now I also have a JBJ auto top off, and it is actually working really good for me. I was doing it manually, and I was doing a terrible job, and I think that was causing a lot of my corals to be stressed out. I also have power strips up here. Might get higher end ones that have more outlets, or I might one day break down and buy an aquarium controller of some kind. Now here is the controller for the pump on the Skims Chaeto reactor. You can see I'm using a lot of Jabao and Skim stuff. Now, for some reason, this keeps falling off. The glue for these just doesn't seem to be good. I mean, on the one controller, it's sticking perfect, but on this, it's not. Here's the controller for it. You have the master and the slave mode. So they're in sync to a certain extent. Some models just don't want to do it correctly. Now, I'm also using a timer for my lights as well as the light for the Chaeto reactor. This is the Century. I can't remember this name. Give me a second. It just says Century. I bought it off of Amazon. It's $12, and it works really good, and it's really fast. You could probably buy one of these, as I said, for $12. And you can use it to probably control power heads. So let's say you got a bunch of cheaper power heads, not including the J-Bow. Despite being cheaper, it's actually fairly decent quality. I think for what you pay for to get one, it's actually really nice. And the only way to beat the J-Bow is to probably spend, I would say, probably another $40 to get a power head of that quality. And even then, a lot of these don't have really good controllers and stuff. The J-Bow is fairly decent. Like I said, for what you pay for, you're getting a lot. It's no Ecotech, it's no tunes, but it works. In fact, I have 4 Acropora, and they're doing really good with this system I'm running. Now, to correct the detritus getting into the sump and then getting to places where it's just going to rot, I actually have part of the answer right here. I got this yesterday in the mail for BRS. Don't know why I threw my knife way over there. Well, I'm sitting Indian style on the floor. Gotta be careful not cut the hell out of myself because I'm doing this one-handed. Not having a bright moment having a bit of a dull moment here. Now let's see what BRS sent me. I ordered several things. And of course you can probably notice some of them right off the spot. 1-inch unions. 1-inch gate valve. It's actually a pretty nice one. I couldn't find a lot of this stuff locally, so I just came here. And filter socks. Now these are the nylon, not the felt. Now the reason why I went with nylon is because you could just take them and wash them out by hand. Just take them to the sink, rinse them out. Now I don't want to use the felts because everybody says you got to wash them in the washing machine, and I really don't feel like doing that. If in the end felt proves to be better, I'll switch over to felt. But I'd rather want to try the media cups first. What the heck did I hit? Sorry, I'm having a moment here. And I said, I want to try the medium. Before I switch over to felt, if these don't work, I would like to switch over to the media cups. They're $20 a piece, and I say you just throw in whatever media you want to use to, capture particles in the water. I'll probably just buy a big bulk of filter floss. Just put this up here and out of the way. So that way I can just try that instead. Now the reason, now if you notice the parts I bought, that means I'm going to have to re-plumb my overflow. And I have my canister filter basically ready to rock and roll. All I gotta do is throw in some filter media. I got a bunch of filter floss and filter pads laying around. I could just throw in there and it'll be good to go. Now I have some Epsom salt for immediate, magnesium rays, or what else? You mostly would use that for magnesium. Some people use it to make a I guess you could say fish X-lax, I've heard. Where you can just throw it directly into the tank and it'll make a constipated fish go. And I think that might have killed my Naso tang. So I have that. Also, organic carbon. Or just sugar. And it's actually working pretty good in the tank. I still have some really healthy specimens of hair algae in there that I'm wanting dead. But it's not spreading. Large chunks of it are dying off. and the corals look good. Also, I have some, baking soda. It's basically sodium bicarbonate, which you can use to raise your pH, not your pH, your alkalinity with only short-term effects on your pH. Here, of course, I was going to make a 5-minute video, and here I am rambling again, but... Now, the reason why I'm going to have to replumb my overflow is because the way I built it was that it went past the filter socks. And the reason why I went past the filter socks is because my overflow box uses 2-inch pipes. Now, trigger system sumps use like a little bulkhead right there to go through that. I guess you could say it's a splash guard. Well, with that in the way, you can't use anything else but their bulkheads, and their bulkheads are 1 inch. Now, I can't remember if mine is still underneath warranty, and plus, even if it's not a warranty, there's a high chance of it cracking the acrylic and could cause damage to the sump. So I'm just gonna use reducers to reduce it from a 2-inch down to a 1-inch and have it go in there. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna switch it over to canister filter. I'm gonna use a shop vac I have lying around, and I'm gonna suck up all this water into Tritus that is in the sump. This is my goal. When I'm actually going to accomplish it, I don't know. Probably the middle of next week. I'm on vacation, so that means I should have enough time to do a lot of this stuff. And then say, well, I'm letting it sit and dry. This will be, while I'm doing all that, this canister filter will be keeping the tank clean enough. And then I said, once the plumbing's all fixed, I'll have it all hooked back up. Alright guys, I think that's all I can ramble on about for now.